Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent. Listener discretion is advised. Today's guest is an artist who's carving out his own lane in alternative pop. Bronx-born and now LA-based Ezra has already racked up millions of streams, sold out shows, and even caught the attention of Gabe Saporta, who signed him to Tag Music. His latest single, Intermission, is a raw, piano-driven anthem that captures the ache of first love and the longing that never quite fades. He's also releasing a companion mockumentary, blending satire and honesty, directed by his friend and star of the TV show Gotham, David Mazouz, and featuring Gabe Saporta himself. In this conversation, Ezra opens up about the inspiration behind Intermission, his bold creative vision, and the journey towards his debut album coming in 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Caught on the Mic. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of Caught on the Mic. My next guest has a style of music that the TikTok crowd has affectionately dubbed as Ezra Core. He's got a brand new single. It is emotional. It is cinematic. It is called Intermission. I am very happy to welcome my new friend Ezra to the show today. How the heck are you?
What's poppin', Mike? How we doing? I'm doing good.
You know, we were just talking about your shirt. That shirt is fire.
Thank you, dude. Yes. Straight out the shower, just threw this on and sat down here. So picked it out just for you.
Oh, love it. What's your favorite Whitney Houston song?
That's a tough question.
That's where I got to cue the Jeopardy theme song right there.
Off the top of my head, I'm not going to lie to you. I can't even name one, but I am sure there's a million that I know very well.
I love it. Well, I mean, all you have to do is grab a shopping cart in your local grocery store, walk around for 15 minutes. You're probably going to hear one.
I Will Always Love You is a banger.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's a million of them that I know, but I just don't know. You know what I mean? But big fan, one of the best singers to ever exist.
Yeah. How many artists are like that? Where you're like, I didn't know that they wrote this song.
Yeah, there's so many of them. You know, that's the goal. One day I want to be one of those. Real spill.
That's perfect segue. So let's talk a little bit about your origin story. As I said, brand new single, Intermission. I went and I checked out some of your other songs. Can't Let My Guard Down, Glass House. Your music is fantastic. How did you get into making music, and what is your origin story?
It's a pretty wild one, I'd say. I think it's a little unique and niche to me. I grew up in the Bronx, so I started off making rap music, like freestyle. Really, I was freestyling with my friends, and one of my other friends went by Crash, CRVSH, and he was releasing music on SoundCloud that seemed to be doing pretty well. And I would freestyle with him, and I'd be like, I feel like I could do this. Like, I feel like I could do what he's doing. So I released a song. And I woke up 2 days later, didn't check the app or the website or anything. And then I was like, people in school were coming up to me like, oh, like Young Easy, which was like my name as a joke. And they were like joking about it. And I was like, okay, they're making fun of me. It's fine, you know? And then I went and checked that song 3 days later, and it was at like 8,500 streams, which like plays on SoundCloud, which for me was like, what the fuck? Like, what is even going on? And there's like a couple hundred likes on it and comments. And I'm like, do people like this? Like, people are enjoying this. Like, I freestyled on GarageBand over some YouTube beat and people are liking it. Then this company, Our Generation Music, posted it, which is like this Instagram page, which was big at the time. A bunch of managers hit me up. I got flown out to Orlando, met with this guy named Dex, who's still one of my good friends to this day. 2 months later, I had a song with NLE Choppa that came out, who's like a big rapper. And then next thing I knew, I'm Young Easy, this like rapper artist with hundreds of thousands of monthlies on Spotify, and I am shook. And I kind of divulged myself into this rap world because I decided this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. This character is a fun character to play. I had some rough experiences in that world, kind of realizing like, oh my God, you guys don't just rap about the stuff that you do. You actually do it. Like, you are robbing people at gunpoint and selling mass amounts of illegal substance and doing all this crazy stuff. And I was kind of like, this is not me. I just feel like I'm playing a character and I'm leaning into something that doesn't feel like authentically myself at all. So I woke up one random morning. I was about to sign with Rock Nation's distribution company. I had signed with the Rock Nation's distribution company like a month ago, and I hadn't done any releases through them. I took down all my music. And my manager called me. He's like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "I'm gonna rebrand. I want to do this." He's like, "Okay." Then we have a call with the label, and they're like, "We don't know what you're talking about, but that's not what we signed. You're dropped. We're cooked." And I went to Atlanta with all the money I had saved up for music after having like some rough experiences, and made a bunch of music. Just but got a 6-month lease at some random spot and just locked myself in a room every day with a producer and made song after song after song. Finally made a song I felt like was good enough. This publishing company hit me up about it, flew out to LA, had a bunch of sessions. One of them I made this song called All Your Friends Hate Me, which is like the super basic pop punk song on my page, which is not like a million streams. But back in the day, I just made it trying to figure out what my next sound was going to be. Right. But I also realized that all the best producers were in LA. And I was like, this is where I need to be. So went back to New York, gathered my shit, came back to LA, couch surfed for like 4 or 5 months, had a viral moment on TikTok, signed a deal, was able to pay rent, and now I'm here.
Love it, dude. You know, it's great. I swear to you, I think I've brought this up the last 12 episodes of the podcast with musicians. Is what's great about this modern era of music is even 10, 15 years ago, an A&R rep or somebody in the industry would look at you and say, you need to pick a fucking lane. What style of music are you going to do? Pick it, double down on that, and just do that one thing. But now, and one of the silver linings of streaming getting as big as it has is now people just look at music as being music. They don't necessarily look at it as genre. Do you feel that that's kind of influenced you as a creator as well?
Kind of, yeah. I also do kind of agree with the sentiment of you kind of have to find your niche if you really want to be super successful in this game. I feel like, or at least start off with a niche. Like, I feel like if you're putting pressure on a million different parts of a door, it's going to take a lot more pressure to break the door down than just sticking your foot through it and like breaking down around it. You know what I mean? No, I feel like for me, it felt like it was just me finding my sound. And I tried a bunch of stuff. I tried the rap stuff. I tried like the pop punk, whatever the fuck it was. And I felt like it was like, I found this weird mesh in between thing with the hyper pop sound where it allowed me to kind of experience, rock elements and pop elements along with like the rappy flows that I was doing. And that's what got me so hyped about it, is it didn't feel like there was really, like you're saying, a wall or like, a ceiling for where that, genre could cap off. And then over time, it's just kind of progressively changed. And I feel like on this project, it's the most, my goal for this project was to make the stuff I normally make, which is like the kind of weird experimental stuff, but to make it a little bit more widely spoken. Like if music is a language, I want everybody to be able to speak the language that I'm speaking.
I love that, man. And I love that analogy about the pressure on the door, because that is so true. Like, hey, it's something I struggle with, even as a podcaster. Like I was past life, I did the music thing myself. And I was a part of that old industry where it's like, okay, you have to niche this down. But as a podcaster, I sit down and I plot out episodes and I'm like, okay, I don't want redundancy at the same time. That's my other fear. It's like, yes, I need to niche down what my direction is, but I also don't want redundancy. Do you fight that as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think I draw inspiration from so many different places for the things that I create. So, two songs of mine are almost never going to sound the same.
Love that.
And I don't really, on this project, this album that I have coming out, I feel like they all somehow flow seamlessly into each other, but there's a very wide range of sounds that I've picked to make it cohesive that don't really make sense with each other. There's like Memphis rap samples. There's like full on live rock drums. There's hyper pop drops. There's like everything you could possibly think of, like a full on acoustic folky songs, like, but somehow it all makes sense together. And I feel like my vulnerability is what pieces it all together. But no, I don't feel like I don't feel like right now, at least with this album, I just feel really excited about it. There obviously are times in every single artist's career, no matter what it is in creative space, where obviously things are going to get redundant and they're going to get a little repetitive and hard to break out of that cycle. But I feel like, I don't know, this album just flowed together really seamlessly for me.
Let's lean into that vulnerability for just a moment. The new single, Intermission, feels incredibly personal. What was the moment you knew that you had to write this song?
It's really funny, actually. My first ever girlfriend, which is like a weird story, when I was in 8th grade, we dated, and I wouldn't even consider it a real relationship. It was just like, I guess the first time I ever had feelings for somebody, the first time I'd ever called somebody a significant other, whatever the hell it was. And we went into high school and we broke up, whatever the fuck it was. We were kids and went through high school and like kind of always were very good friends, but nothing ever happened. She had a boyfriend or I had a girlfriend or whatever happened. And then, after all this stuff went down and I'd been through everything I was going through, she was going overseas to study abroad. And I was going to move to LA and do this couch surfing thing that I was talking about before and figure my shit out. And we had this sit down conversation where we were like, it sucks because I've always had feelings for you and you've always had feelings for me, which is basically the conclusion we came to, but nothing ever really came from it. You know, we never actually got to try this out and see what would have happened. And I just, no matter what happens, because I'm sure at this point it's not going to happen, I want to stay in each other's lives. And that was the conclusion we came to. And I kind of came to the understanding that I might not ever see her again. So I hadn't seen her in about, I don't know, 6 years, 5 years, something crazy. And I get a random, and like once in a while, we'll have like a text conversation that'll last for a couple days. And then whatever, it's back to our lives. You know, we're not seeing each other. I got a random text being like, hey, I'm coming to LA next week. And I was like, whoa, okay. She came to LA, and she came over. We ended up having the most incredible like night together ever. It was really intense. And I was just like, I woke up the next morning just with this weird feeling of like happiness mixed with like a little bit of like sadness, but it was almost completely overwhelmed by the feeling of like nostalgia and like how amazing everything was in that moment, and how like I'm so glad that it happened. And literally the next day after, the day after, so 2 days after, I had a session with this guy Pharaoh, who's an internet money producer. He's incredible, great at what he does, and I knew instantly exactly what I had to write the song about. He played the piano loop, and it was just, I used to think we'd had the picture place, and it's just like I literally wrote that song in probably like an hour and like recorded it all in an hour and a half. It just was going like it came to me so quick because it was so hitting me.
Yeah. So the song itself is very piano driven and angsty at the same time, but it's also described as being cinematic. What drew you to the late 90s, early 2000s sonic palette that kind of embraces this song?
It's a good question. I don't even know if it was that deep to me. Like, I think it was just like, I wrote the song completely over the piano loop with no drums. Mm-hmm. And then I felt like because it was so rappy and like quick with it, I kind of wanted it to have like a boom bap meets like rock drums and kind of some weird mesh in between. And that's kind of the feeling it gave me, was it's almost like a boom bap rap pattern, but with live instruments that makes it kind of feel a little like alternative. And yeah, I wasn't thinking about influences or anything. I was just thinking like what would be the best for this song and for these flows and melodies that I picked. And we came to that conclusion, and I think it sounded really good.
Were there any specific artists or albums that kind of influenced that sound, that final result?
Well, I want to say that Pharaoh produces a lot of Aries music, if you know who that is. Mm-hmm. He's another big artist kind of in a similar world to me, and I think he has done similar things with his stuff. So I think that's where he kind of had the idea, and then I just kind of took it and gave it my own little Ezra spin and try to make it a little more emo, if you will.
I love it. So the mockumentary tied to this release is such a unique idea. How did that concept come about?
Well, I've always wanted to act and do this stuff. And I kind of had this feeling where there's a lot of people in my camp for the last project that I made kind of in my ear telling me what I should and shouldn't do and all this stuff. And I got rid of all that for this project. And I was like, for this album, I want to do shit my way. And if I was my own favorite artist, what would I want to see? You know?
Right.
I feel like everybody thinks their music is the best. Every single artist on planet Earth thinks their music is the greatest, which is like, you're supposed to, that is how you're supposed to feel.
Right.
And obviously I feel that way about my stuff, but there's got to be a way that you separate yourself outside of that. And my thought process was, I really view I go live with my fans and I talk to my fans, and they'll make these weird videos and edits of me like joking on live, and those have done well in the past. So I was like, how do I incorporate my personality into my promotion without being, I made the song about like the classic TikTok shit that you see every single day. Not to say there's anything wrong with that, but I just wanted to separate myself from where the industry's at right now. I feel like good people, like people that are really good at what they do, are able to take trends and move with them. And I didn't even want to do that. I wanted to either do something that nobody's ever done before, and if it works, great. And if it doesn't, I failed trying something that is incredible and new to me. So I was like, let me write a full-on mockumentary shot office style about my life and my experience writing this project. And that's how I'll show this side of my personality. Thank God, one of my best friends, David, who I've been friends with for a really long time, since like the Young Easy days or whatever, since I was making that stuff. Because what other white Jewish kid has a song out with NLE Choppa at the time? He was just like, this kid's cool. We started hanging out. He was playing Bruce Wayne in Gotham, which is also really sick. So when I first got out to LA, when I made that first trip, we were hanging out a bunch. And yeah, he was like, I'm so down. He's like, send me the album. I sent him the album. He's like, bro, I really want to write this with you. So we sat down, we wrote the whole thing together. It ended up turning into him directing in it, which ended up turning into him acting in it as well. Gabe also acted in it, which is the owner of my label, Gabe Saporta, awesome guy, legend of the game as well. But it just ended up coming out way cooler than I could have ever imagined. And now each single is going to have another piece of this pilot episode that the whole entire thing will come out when the whole entire project drops.
You know what I love about this? And it's almost like you took the TikTok social experiment and put it on steroids with this. Like, looking at it, it's not just music videos or documentaries. It's looking at it as like a multimedia piece and launching an album as a multimedia piece. Am I off base with that?
I think it's also a way of launching my writing career, which is something that I've always wanted to do, is write TV and movies and acting, and a way for me to show what makes me different from everybody else, which I think is hard to do in today's industry.
So what was it like collaborating with David and Gabe?
Amazing. I mean, these people are like two people that I've known, I've had as deep conversation as you could have with these people for as long as I can remember. Like, Gabe was the first person to really take a gamble on me and invest in me and see the vision of what I want to create in my music and believe in me as a person. So he's been my mentor for 3 or 4 years now, which has been amazing. And David is like one of my best friends, irrelevant to everything we do together. We've been hanging out for a really long time. So it was, oh no, I was going to come grab it. Thanks, dude. Thanks, Playboy. But that was my roommate, Braden Bales, another incredible artist. Yes, David is a genius. And I think he's really good. I've worked on him with music before, like as a joke. He's kind of like come into sessions and we've made songs together, and he could kind of rap, his ass off in a funny way. But this was cool, me taking a dive into his world. And I really got to see where he shines and what he does best. And I was absolutely blown away. Like, it was mind blowing how incredible he is at bringing out the best in people when they're acting. Obviously, writing with him was incredible, but seeing him direct was a whole nother animal. It was crazy.
So you're using this mockumentary as kind of a way to build mystery around the album. Fans will slowly kind of piece it all together as the episodes and the music drops. Do you enjoy leaving these types of breadcrumbs for fans to follow?
I love it. I'm really bad at it though, because I'm super active in my communities and stuff, and I always end up leaking shit just because I love talking to them so much. I always end up slipping up and saying the wrong thing. Like yesterday on live, I accidentally said that my song was coming out the 19th. So now like whoever was on that live stream knows. But I love it. And I think it gives a cool dynamic with my fan base. Like the album, can you like bleep out when I say the album name or something?
Yeah, I can. I'll figure it out.
So the album is called...
Okay.
but I revealed only certain letters of said project. You know what I mean? And they're all like trying to guess what it's called, and they were making memes of me as like Gru from Despicable Me, and they're calling it Seize the Moon. They're calling it like all this different stuff, and it's very funny. A lot of them guess already, but they're doing all these random things, and I think it gives them an opportunity to interact. At the end of the day, dude, the internet's a lonely place. I was lonely, still am lonely, scrolling my phone. People are lonely scrolling their phone. They're bored there, and they just want to feel part of something. And if I can be that thing that they feel part of, if my world is something that they feel like they're in on something that other people haven't found yet, that's awesome to me, because that's what I felt growing up with X, really specifically. This guy, XXX Tentacion, a guy who passed pretty early on in his career. I was so early onto him that I was in his DMs and getting responses like when he first started. And I was like, dude, I'm going through this and that. And he would respond to me and be like, hey, keep your head up. You're going to kill it. You're going to make it one day. And me having that interaction with him made it so once he got past that ceiling of the place he was at, it was like, I felt like almost like I knew the guy, you know, and obviously it's a super parasocial relationship to have with an artist, but I want people to be able to have that feeling with me where I'm there for you in a deeper sense than just listening to me through your Spotify.
Bro, I got to tell you, I that warms my heart to hear that whole thing, because similar inflection point here. Like when I have somebody on my show, like I'm not just investing in them as a guest and it's like, okay, we're going to have this one conversation and then we're never going to probably ever talk again. For me, it's like, no, you did my show. Time is the most valuable asset, valuable commodity in the world. If somebody gives you their time, they are giving you a piece of themselves, and it's a piece of themselves they are never going to get. So you almost have to cherish it. You have to covet it, and you have to respect it. Like, so if you do my show, like I'm invested in you. I'm going to watch,
baby.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to follow your career, but it goes to exactly what you're saying. It's like, sometimes you have to up that layer of just the basic parasocial relationship and be like, hey, you know what? Somebody's watching my shit. Like they care enough to invest in my shit. I'm going to invest in them right back. Right.
100%. And hey, it goes right back to you, man. When I book my first headliner tour and it's selling out and everything's going great, we'll come right back down to this podcast and we'll reconvene about how things are going again, and it'll be great. And we'll do it again when I get my first Grammy, and we'll keep going and going and going, you know?
See, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So, you know, you briefly mentioned your mentorship with Gabe Saporta. Everybody knows him from Midtown, Cobra Starship, and a million other things.
You made me feel so sorry.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, I can't tell you how many jam sessions have been completely run by Cobra Starship albums.
100%.
So, you know, how has his mentorship shaped your path, and what's the best advice he's given you so far?
Oh, that's a really hard one, because he's given me so much advice. I think when I first signed to Gabe, I was at a very different point in my career, and I think I was a little more naive to how this thing would go. And I'm just turned 24 last month, and I think that I thought I was going to be in a much different place in my career now than I am, which I think every artist feels that way. When they're chasing their dreams, there's kind of some naivety to when you find a little success, and I found some success doing some stupid freestyle shit. I was like, this stuff is way better. This is going to take off instantly. And I think the difference is try to see the bigger picture as to what I'm building, and try to take it step by step and not get lost in the process of expectation and comparison. Like comparison's the thief of joy. I think you've heard that one before, I'm sure. But he really broke it down to me as, we're building something really special here, and don't let that get overlooked by you wanting the best for yourself. It's really easy to be super self-deprecative to yourself, especially out here in LA, surrounded by people that are doing really cool stuff. But it's just not to get lost in it and stay true to what I am. And I think it took me a couple years to even take that advice to the fullest. And I thought I was taking that advice, but I wasn't yet. And I think this album is the first time where I was like, I'm doing this my way, and I'm going to see out my creative vision, and whatever happens, happens. But at least I know that I did everything in my power to do this my way.
Yeah. And those little wins can sometimes be accelerants for you wanting more, and sometimes wanting more a little bit too soon.
100%. Yeah. I don't know if there will ever be a point in my career where I'll be satisfied. I think that's just the type of person I am. I'm hungry. I'm so hungry for more and more. And I want to do as much as I can. And I don't need to be Justin Bieber. You know, I don't need to be the biggest star on the planet, but if I'm at a place in my career where I could tour the world and be able to sell out shows in as many different places as I can and tour forever, like that to me is going to be everything I need. You know, I'm obviously always going to strive for more and more and more and be the best version of myself. But right now, that's all I can think of. And I live and breathe that. I dream about what's next. I can't get away from it.
Love that. You've already had some big live show moments, including some with somebody I really enjoy, Modest Yahoo. What stands out for you as your most memorable performance so far?
I did a headliner at Morocco Lounge that sold out a couple years ago, which was awesome. But I think the best show, the thing that meant the most to me was my acoustic Tiny Room performance. I did a little acoustic show at this place called Tiny Room in LA, which I'm doing another one next week, but it's not going to be a show. I'm just filming it all for content and stuff. I'm doing a bunch of like live session versions of a bunch of songs on the album. But we sold it out and I didn't really know what was going to happen. I announced it 2 weeks in advance. And it was in 100 cap venue, and there was people that couldn't get in outside. There's people that drove from Arizona, people that drove from all these different places around the world. And it got me so excited to connect with these people. And it was the first time that the Ezra music, I got to see that on a full scale of what it meant to people. And this one girl broke down to me crying, talking about how another sad song, this song I made for her, like really saved her from this pit of depression she was in. And I've had really bad experiences with addiction myself, that I was told has really helped people with that get through sobriety and all this different stuff that really helped me a lot with my own mental. Knowing that I'm helping other people makes the struggles a lot easier. Because maybe I'm not going mega viral like other artists are, but my songs are helping people get through really rough times in their life. And that to me is more than enough to keep me motivated.
Absolutely. One person at a time. I mean, that's the best way to do it. How do you want fans to feel when they see you live?
Like themselves. I want them to feel like they can be whoever they want to be. I want them to feel like they can achieve whatever the fuck it is. I feel like I'm pretty vulnerable on stage. I feel like myself on stage. And I want people to be able to see themselves in that, you know? I just want to inspire people to do whatever the fuck it is they want to do, whether that's build houses, whether it's paint paintings, whether it's make music, whatever the fuck that may be. I want people to be able to do what they do to the fullest and chase it.
Love that. Your music mixes nostalgia with a Gen Z perspective. Do you feel like your generation approaches songwriting differently than previous generations?
I think I approach songwriting differently than previous generations. I think I have, I just think I'm very inspired by Midwest emo writing, like the Front Bottoms and Modern Baseball and Mom Jeans and these different bands that I feel like get hyper specific and weirdly descriptive with what they say. And I kind of wanted to incorporate that into a more like alternative pop, alternative rock demographic where it feels more polished and less niche, you know, because the vocal performance in a lot of those songs are very intentionally whiny and like nasally, and that's just how they sing. And it sounds, I cannot stop listening to that shit. But I also, like we were talking about language before, it's not a language that everybody can speak. Right. So I wanted to take my favorite parts of that which is, I feel like specificity in writing that a lot of other genres and bags don't have, that I can bring into my world, but yet still make it, I guess, pretty enough to that everybody can listen to it.
Love that. How does your personal storytelling connect with a modern audience?
I guess that's a question for the people that listen to it more so, but the comments that I've been getting and the response that I've been getting is it's really bringing people back. Like I got a comment yesterday being like, I just hit up my situationship from 10 years ago because of this song. Like, and we ended up having a conversation and getting coffee. I just, like, fine, I'll text him. There's like another comment that I've gotten a bunch of times, or fine, I'll text her. Like, I think it allows people to understand, like a big thing of what I preach is that it's okay to feel not okay. And it's okay to live in the past sometimes. It's okay to do this thing because it's human nature, you know? And I think me being vulnerable through my music inspires other people to be vulnerable and maybe do things or say things to people that they wouldn't have spoken to or wouldn't have done before.
Yes. So the album drops in 2026, correct?
Mm-hmm. Top of 2026.
Yeah. So where are you at in the creative process with it right now?
It's done. The album's finished.
Dope.
Dunsky. The mockumentary is basically finished. We still have some editing and stuff to do and just picking out the final scenes and stuff. It's all filmed. It's all ready to roll. We just like tomorrow I have a full day editing the next song I'm dropping, which by the time this comes out, it'll be out. It's called Sober Cigarettes. I'm with one of my good friends, Cameron, who's known as Scarlet House. But that song is fucking incredible. And it's about my relationship with a part of this rough time that I didn't really get into, which I don't have to get so deep into, but I had a really bad benzo episode in my life when I was the trial changeover period from Young Easy to Ezra, where I kind of was like, I lost everything. I just spent the last 2 years of my life playing a character that didn't feel real to me. And I got really, really into Xans, and I was just popping Xanax all the time and completely numb to reality. And I had this really long relationship with this girl where she was great. And I feel like I kind of ruined everything she had going on and I had going on by just being an addict and taking it out on her and other people around me. I thank God I didn't do anything bad. I just wasn't that present for her in ways that I think I should have been, and expected her to be present for me in situations that would only be detrimental to her mental health. You know, like I need help. I don't need a girlfriend. You know, I needed help at the time. And this song was really about like, it's like, you look like sober cigarettes on a night out. Like I'm the type to regret what comes out of my mouth. And I wish I was someone you could look at and feel the same about, but I don't smoke sober cigarettes. Like, and that was the whole pre-hook of the song. And then it goes into like me talking about like, if I lie, like, I'm really sorry. I just knew you were going to pick up. Like I knew I was going to be able to talk to you. If I got your attention, I knew you were going to be able to be there for me. And it's just basically, it's almost like an apologetic love song about how I wish I could have been a better version of myself for this person.
So these real world experiences and these bouts of authenticity, do you feel like that is the anchor of the overarching story of the record?
Yeah. I think I shouldn't be saying that because it's the name of the project, but I think the name of the project speaks volumes as to me setting false hope for myself and losing myself in this dream chasing that I've done a lot. It's almost like I was dream chasing aimlessly, you know, which I feel like for me at least has gone out of style a little bit, you know, like I want to be able to chase my goals without completely sabotaging my mental health and the people's mental health around me, or not just running full sprint. And when I get to the destination I'm at, then I'll worry about these issues. It's about handling them as I move forward and becoming the best version of myself before I have all this stuff. I just feel like if all these things that's going on now, if the songs would have been streaming great as they're doing now, if I would have done this mockumentary, if I would have gotten these looks from these different places and these tours or whatever the fuck is going to happen for me towards the end of the year, I don't think I would have been ready for it. I feel like now I have the perspective going through all this stuff. There's a song on the project called I Wrote This the Day I Got Robbed, and it was the day I lost all my shit. There's a song on the project about a homie of mine who passed due to overdose called Gone at 20 something, which is really, really emotional for me. A song about my relationship with my parents and how they feel about where I'm at and all that stuff. And it's like Just Like You. And it's like, if I was just like you, would you love me more, basically? And it's like a lot of emotional ballads. And then a lot of songs that are about less intense stuff that still help me learn about things that are almost a little more of turn up vibes, but they still have that same feeling of me. It's almost like a therapy session, you know, between me and my fans. And hopefully they can gain perspective from me showing these situations that gained me the perspective that I needed.
So speaking of therapy, as the resident podcaster armchair therapist here, with all the momentum you built, how are you balancing ambition with staying grounded?
It's hard. And I think the balance between proud and never satisfied is a balance that is a very hard one for anybody to try to muster up. I think not just for musicians or for entertainment people. I just think everybody, it's really hard to pat yourself on the back when you're not at the place you want to be at yet. And I think me maturing is realizing that you have to. I have to allow myself to be thankful towards me and my fan base for being like Intermission streaming incredible. You know, it's streaming great. And compared to my other music, it's doing really, really great. Is it getting 1 million streams first month like other people I know? No, but that doesn't mean it's not doing amazing for me and for the direction I want to go in, you know? And I just think it's about accepting these little wins. That's like really where I'm at now, is being able to appreciate the fan base I have and making those connections. I've come to realize life is like, you can either build steps one by one, right? Or you can grapple hook all the way to the top. And right. I feel like the problem is when you grapple hook all the way to the top and you slip and you end up falling, you don't fall back to square 59 from 60. You fall back to square one, you know, and then you got to rebrand. But if I'm building these steps one by one, and I'm making these connections with my fans to the point where like they feel like they know me and I feel like they know me and I kind of feel like I know them through that. I feel like if I do end up slipping and I do end up dropping something that doesn't do that well, or something happens or X, Y, and Z, I'll still fall back onto the step that I set below that one, you know, which is something that I've come to appreciate. I don't need to be viral moment, this TikTok guy, this, the blah, 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 blah. I'd rather just be somebody that has a strong, real connection with the people that value my music.
Dude, I love all of that. I love your perspective. You have your head in the absolute right place it needs to be with everything you have going on. So
it took a while, I'll tell you.
Dude, I'm sure it did. You know,
and there's obviously still some days where I wake up and feel like
oh
shit.
Yeah, dude, I tell you what, you're never gonna be 100% satisfied, and that's okay. It's just to like that those moments when you're disgruntled, it's not letting those moments own you and control your next decision. That is a challenge for anybody. Well, brother, this pod has gone by super fast because I have enjoyed the shit out of talking with you.
Let's go, man. Yeah, I've had a great time too, man. It really did feel like a therapy session.
Well, my closing question is one that I ask every single guest that does my show because I love different perspectives. And that is, given your experience, everything that you're going through right now, this impending album and everything that's coming along with it, what's your advice for making the world a better place tomorrow than what it is today?
Be easy on yourself. I think a lot of the time people are disgruntled with people or treating people poorly. It's because they're treating themselves poorly. And I think be patient with yourself. Understand that life is a long thing. And everybody's on their own journey. And there's people that have everything work out for them at 16. And there's people that have everything work out for them at 48. You know, it's so random. I talked to an actor recently who got his first big gig at 55. And since then, he's been absolutely killing it. And it's just, you never know what people are going through or what you're going through. And I think it's always try to treat yourself like you would treat somebody who you care about and love unconditionally. That unconditional love, I think, will get you really far with regards to how you treat other people.
Love that, dude. Tell everybody where they can find you and your music online.
Ezra on Spotify and Apple Music and everything. Deezer, Amazon, whatever. Where is Ezra? On socials. I don't remember what my Twitter handle is. It's like everyone hates Ezra or something like that. I don't know. But
you know what's funny, dude? I deleted Twitter like 2 years ago. I just re-downloaded it the other day and I'm like, all right, starting back at square zero.
It's a scary app. I'm not going to lie. I kind of stay away from it, but I tweeted my first thing in a long time the other day. I just said, I will sell out a world tour one day. I will sell out a world tour one day. I will sell out a world tour one day.
Oh, manifestation.
That was it.
Yeah, dude, I deleted mine. I scrubbed everybody. I had a pretty decent amount of followers too. So when I created my new account and I'm back at zero, I'm like, fuck.
And guess what, dude? You know, a new opportunity to rebrand yourself.
Absolutely.
Be patient.
Well, Ezra, I mean it whenever I said it earlier, like, the invitation is always open for you to come back. We are friends now. That means I am like the stink to your shit. So love it. I cannot wait to see what happens in the future. I think big things are going to happen for you. The world's a much better place with you in it, my friend.
Hey, I'd say the same for you, Mike. I really appreciate it, man. And yeah, great podcast. I appreciate you bringing me on, brother.
I want to once again thank my friend Ezra for joining me on the show today. Make sure you follow him on Instagram at whereisezra. And big shout out to my buddy Nate with Impulse Artists. He's always helping hook up some of the best episodes ever. So make sure you follow Impulse Artists on Instagram as well. While you're being generous with follows, make sure you're following me at Caught on the Mic on all social media platforms. Give me a subscribe on my YouTube channel. That thing is growing, and I couldn't be any happier. You can also visit me on my website at www.caughtonthemic.com or shoot me an email, caughtonthemic@gmail.com. Boy, that was all a mouthful, but hey, it's worth it. Once again, it is my privilege to be here with you. This has been Caught on the Mic with Michael Clark. I'm Michael Clark. Until next time, thank you. Oh, final note. Episode 200 coming soon!